Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the top teams I've come up with for this week. We have a free-to-play lineup, a mid lineup, and then also a pay-to-win lineup. So let's go ahead and begin with the free-to-play team number 1. So team number 1 is going to be a Pandora Shmira combo, but with the pack bond spell to have some added basically survivability of the team. We're going to have Nero giving his charms onto Shmira. We have Damon to further buff up Shmira. She's going to be the rearmost, so she's going to be going into the Pandora box. We have Ludovic to immediately be healing up Pandora, and we have the Grim Execution of Phantomal to be frontmost, to be tanking most of the damage from the enemy team. So overall, of course, Nero will take an enemy Lily May interruption, Pandora will come out of the box and begin firing off, and the pack bond spell will just have better survival for the whole team. I think this is a good option, especially given that it uses heroes a lot of people have been prioritizing and building up even into Paragon. So this is going to be the team number 1. For team number 2, we are going to have the Citrana Bonnie combo. And we're going to run it with the seismic spell this time. So basically this map number 2, which has added survival, that is good overall for heroes like Bonnie and Tossie, because they already stall pretty effectively, and this is going to give them just more stall factor. So we're going to have Almas up front and Iron to be crowd controlling the enemy. Snowstomper is going to be taking an enemy Lily May interruption, and we have Snowstomper buffing up the Bonnie behind him, and we have Bonnie on a tile that she will not be jumpable by an enemy Sylvina. And so she will not be prevented from casting her DK magic debuff right at the beginning of the match. And then we have Citrana behind the Bonnie. She's going to be spreading her sparks onto the Snowstomper and Bonnie, who will be able to spread the debuffs onto the enemy team. And we have just Iron in the back, Tossie in the back with the seismic spell. Seismic spell is strong in this team combo because it just basically gives more kill threat right from the beginning. So that is a whole game plan with this team. Again, using heroes a lot of people have prioritized for PvP, and so I think it is a really good option. If you need to, you can replace Citrana for Damien. That is a fine replacement, and if you don't have Citrana built. So moving on to team number 3. Team number 3 is going to be the Lily May Siren combo team with Ravion. Ravion to buff up both of them in the back, and Divine Favor to further give them buffs. Furthermore is further going to be providing that attack temporary buff to Lily May. So Lily May is going to hit basically as hard as possible. We have the Hugin giving its charms onto Siren, and that is going to boost the Siren's damage output. And also with all of this, the Snowstomper will take an enemy Lily May interruption, so Siren can freely get off his ultimate. So that is basically our free-to-play set for this week. We're going to move on to the mid-level teams. Okay guys, so I have some really interesting mid-level teams, and they're actually not going to be using a Celestial Hypogean PvP hero. However, they are using hero like Marcel, who I think is a pretty high-rated, basically PvP performer as just a hyper-carry nuker. I would consider Marcel obviously not top tier in PvP, but like the tier below that, where you have all of those damage heroes like Diona, like Perseus, and really Marcel has an even more added advantage because she's more long range. She doesn't have to like run into the enemy's face like a hero like Perseus. So I really like Marcel, and this is going to be a very solid team. So I've done a lot of testing with Seismic Spell with this Lightbearer combo, but let's just explain it. We have Hugin giving the charms onto Marcel. We have Rowan further giving his charms onto Marcel to buff her and give her range defense. And then we also have Rowan for those potions for some survival, and also energy boosting the Hugin. Because what's going to happen in this position, Hugin is going to get the energy potion. He's going to ultimate really soon into the match. So if the enemy has a Lily May, they'll interrupt Hugin, and then Siren's going to be free to go off in the back. And yeah, so we have Tessio also giving his buff onto Siren, because unfortunately we couldn't give it onto Marcel on this map. But this is still a good option, and Damon is going to further buff up the Siren, and Damon has some crowd control capabilities and tanking capabilities for this team. And we have Seismic Spell just to lock down the enemy, deal that damage burst, because Marcel is going to be bursting them like crazy. So this is going to be a burst nuking team, and it should be very effective, even as like a mid without any Celestial Hypogean. Moving on to team number 2. Team number 2 is going to be the same Citrana Bonnie team, because on this map effect, especially with the pack bond spell, this team has great survival. It's very difficult to actually deal with this team. And so it's also because a lot of players, if you've been playing for a while, you will have these heroes Paragon upgraded, mainly Tossie, Bonnie, maybe even Iron Almas, and Citrana as well, who's a priority for the A-level maulers for Paragon. And so you're going to have a good Paragon upgrade level of this team, and it's overall a solid team. Pack bond spell just gives it more survival, more tanky and stall factor, and it is really good with this map effect as well. But otherwise, the positioning is the same as in the free-to-play team. Surstar in front of Bonnie and Citrana behind Bonnie, and then the other heroes in the same position. Moving on to team number 3. Team number 3 is going to be the Ravion mid-level team, Ravion Lily May. So the thing about this team is just going to be quite a bit more effective compared to the other teams you've seen up until now. And this is one of the first times I'm recommending Perseus. However, Perseus is, again, one of those kind of top-tier PvP hypercarry nukers, just like Marcel, just like Diurnal. And so for players of this mid sort of level, they may have recruited Perseus on the rate-up banner, or maybe they're building him gradually on their wishlist and epic recruitment. And Perseus is a very strong PvP hero, especially with Ravion to further buff him up, and the Divine Favor artifact further giving buffs to the Perseus, and Lily May also in the back. And we also have Theodore. He's going to be allowing Shakir to immediately cast his ultimate, and we have Snowstormer to take an enemy Lily May interruption before Shakir casts, and Shakir is going to jump into the enemy's team, and that is going to really help with Perseus when Perseus and Theodore run up to that team as well and begin dealing bonus damage from the Lupines or of Shakir. If you are one of those higher, like mid to high spender players, but you will probably have, you know, even Perseus as a work in progress right now. And he can work, even if you have him Paragon 2 right now, you can probably beat Paragon 3, Paragon 4 opponents. But you should plus 20 exclusive equipment him. Eventually, I'm going to do it as well. But, like, I'm not running him on my top pay-to-win teams yet. But when I do eventually run him, then I am going to have plus 20 exclusive equipment. So this is overall a solid team as well. And before we move on to the pay-to-win teams, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark or favorite that link in your browser, and whenever you're thinking about making a purchase, just go to that bookmark, make the purchase, and it will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks a lot for the support, and let's move on to the pay-to-win teams. Okay guys, now we have the pay-to-win teams, and you're gonna see team number 1 is very similar to the mid-level of team number 1 because it is very strong. However, it has Mahira in here as well. Now the reason for Mahira, that initial charm that she will enchant basically the enemies, is gonna buy enough time for Marcel to really get going and begin blowing up the enemy team. And so it really does seem Mahira combos really well with a team like this. Otherwise, the heroes are exactly the same. You have the Tessio in front buffing the Siren in the back, and you have all the Marcel, Rowan, Hugin like chain exactly the same position on the left side. So overall, this is going to be a very strong team. I've tested it in duel. It deals with most of the top meta comps. Really, the only like surefire way of dealing with this team is if you, for example, go for an unaffected type strategy to counter them here, or if you, for example, run Dunlinger, Saida, Thalia, top comps. So overall, this is a very strong team, and I can't wait to try it this week. For team number 2, it is going to be the Saida, Dunlinger, Athalia team combo with Igor. So from testing done in duo, and also conversations I've had with other of my friends who also do a lot of PvP testing, really Igor seems to be good with this Dunlinger Athalia Saida team, because Igor is going to provide more stall factor and basically protect and basically tank the enemy, while Saida gets to get going with her ultimates to begin basically putting those drain seeds on the map. Also, Rainier is going to be really good in this map specifically because this is a pretty confined map in that there are not that many tiles of place heroes. Now, if the enemy is only going to run a 6-hero formation, like including the Phantom, it's possible for them to arrange the team in a way to not have Rainier position swap anyone, which is just going to be these 2 tiles. But if they're running 7 heroes, including the Phantom or more, that is not possible. Someone is going to get the Rainier swap value. So definitely, it is possible to avoid the Rainier swap here, and that is always a problem with the Rainier teams on defense, but I still think it's good enough that it is going to warrant running him on this map. And also, rather than Rainier, you can replace him for a hero like Damien. This is also going to be a solid team comp that you can run if you do not have Rainier. That is totally fine. But basically, I'm going to be running Rainier. Maybe I'll switch it to Damien if people, like, you know, are just trying to not get Rainier any value. Apart from that, of course, Lucia Phantom synergy with Athalia is one of the best in the game. And we have the Dunlinger just to block the enemy ultimates, and then Pack Bond spell for further tankiness and survivability. And overall, I'm just really excited for this team. It should do well, and I have tested a lot in duel. I think this is actually one of the top tier PvP teams in the game right now for Supreme Arena. And yeah, okay, moving on to team number 3. Team number 3 is going to be the Diagonal Alicet Nuking Comp. However, you could definitely run a Perseus team like we showed you. Perseus Lily May team is also totally viable, and I'm not even running Lily May in any of my top teams. However, I'm going to be running Diagonal because my Diagonal is invested, and this combo has worked really well for me in the past weeks. It's really difficult for people to deal with this. So it has a Divine Favor spell in the back, buffing up Alicet and Diagonal, and I have it in a position that if the enemy has like a Bonnie, it's going to debuff Alicet rather than Diagonal. I just want to protect the Diagonal as much as possible and not get him debuffed by as much as possible, because once he gets going and can cast his ultimate, it's game over for the enemy team most likely. So Snow Stomper is going to be taking enemy Lily May interruptions, Ravion behind Snow Stomper. Leica is just up in this position because if I put her in any other position, she's going to take the bow of the Alicet. That's why we have her here. And really, all Leica is doing is just providing that initial temporary buffs for your Diagonal, and Theodore is going to be energy boosting Diagonal. So overall, those are the top P2W teams that I'm going to be running for this week. Hopefully these teams will work out well for you, and also the mid teams are very solid. Do not underestimate the mid level of teams, and you can at least maybe take 1 or 2 teams from that and add in a third one if you want to, and just mix and match. But basically from now on, I am always going to include a mid level of team, and the P2W team will always be the best possible team I'm planning to run for that week as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you're not already a member of my AFK Journey Discord server, there's a link to that in the description of this video. Also, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.